and welcome to Tipsy Book Talks. My name's Rayanne.
And I'm Taylor.
And you're watching Disney Channel. Bum, 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 bum. I've always wanted to do that. Just kidding, this is our March wrap-up.
So at the beginning of this month, we played an Irish roulette TBR game, and if there's like a parallel to like your eyes being bigger than your stomach, that's what this was. We selected a lot of books for us to read, and like the true mood readers we are, we read different ones. So we did still have a really great reading month. I'm honestly so proud of like how many books we read, but we did not quite get to most of the required reading, which you will see in our wrap-up. While we did do better in our April TBR, we decided that we would punish ourselves by taking a shot for each book that we did not get to on our required reading. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be drinking tequila. Okay, so we played 5 rounds of that TBR game, and yeah, let's see how many we read and how many shots we have to take.
I'm really proud. I read 6 books this month, and it was actually surprisingly a lot easier to do, mostly because of the fact that I started utilizing Libby a lot, and I would just start renting books that both I needed to read and that I wanted to read, and then I would just kind of like listen to whatever I could, whenever I would do laundry or dishes or anything that I kind of wasn't just directly able to sit down. I would just put Libby on and like listen to a bunch of different books. But of the 6 books that I did read this month, only 2 of them were from my TBR.
I read 9 books this month, and I'm actually really proud of myself. That is a really, really great reading month for me. I don't think I've had that good of a reading month ever. I think that honestly might be true. I think this is the most books I've ever read in a month. I couldn't actually tell you if that's true, but that's just what I'm guessing. But of that 9, only 2 of them were from my required reading, so I'm going to have to take 3 shots today. Okay, so I'll start with the books that we did read. The first book that we read together was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. We are not going to talk about this one really at all because we did a full book talk on it, which we will put up here in the little info section.
As well, we were planning on reading A Midsummer Night's Dream and doing a video for it, which we did both read, so we're counting those both towards our list of books. But due to technical difficulties on my part and my computer kind of crashing every single time I tried to edit a Zoom call, it didn't work out so well. So we're gonna go ahead and retry A Midsummer Night's Dream, probably later on, even in the summertime maybe, but sadly that won't be going up for right now. But for right now, let's go ahead and jump into us taking shots. I'm gonna go ahead and start off taking 2 shots right off the bat. The first one is going to be for A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, because sadly I didn't even get close to reading that, but I am going to try to read it this month as a book like off to the side because I really wanted to read that. And I really want to get into the trilogy before the 3rd one comes out. The second one was Wonderland by Juno Dawson, and I'm really peeved about the fact that I didn't get to that one, but we're going to go ahead and take 2 shots right off the bat because I hate myself. I have my quad shots because I knew I wanted to be at least cute when I did it. But cheers, everybody! God, I hate vodka.
Also, if you haven't recognized yet, my background looks a little bit different. I'm house sitting and I also could not find shot glasses. So I'm just estimating how much is in it by filling it up to like, honestly, probably like here. So wish me luck. Cheers! Whew. And I'm tasting it with iced coffee. This is what I like to call a terrible decision. So that shot goes out to Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and I don't know how many times I'm going to put this on my TBR before I actually goddamn read it, But you guys know how I feel about this book if you watched any of my past videos. I have been trying to read this book for months, and I just don't feel like it. I don't know if it's just because, like, everyone says that they have loved it, or, like, people bought that book for me that I feel very, like, pressured to read it right now. I'm not sure. I think I just feel too pressured to read it, and maybe I should take it off my TBR for a couple months and then try again later. I feel like I just keep putting so much pressure on myself, and that's why I have not gotten to it yet. So the first book that I read was actually A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair, and honestly, I had so much fun reading this book. If you do not know what it is about, it is a Persephone and Hades retelling that is set in present day. I rated it 4 stars, and while it wasn't the most technically well-written book, I had a blast reading it. It had very steamy scenes, it had a lot going on, the plot was quick moving. I got through it so quickly because of all of those things, and it isn't that long of a book. And honestly, I hate to say it, but it really did rescue me from my A Court of Silver Flames reading slump. I feel like that's the only reason why I did not fall into a reading slump, because I started that right after A Court of Silver Flames. But then also, it left off on such a great note that I jumped right into A Touch of Ruin, and that was the second book that I read this month. Also rated it 4 stars, also had a blast reading it. I don't know if I'm going to read the Hades perspective yet, but if Jada reads it from Booked and Boozy, I will probably read it, so we'll see.
So one of the books that I was able to get to this month was The Midnight Lie by Marie Rakowski. I want to make sure that I'm saying that right. So this book actually intrigued me right off the bat because of this cover art. I absolutely love this. Like, I kind of want to get a tattoo inspired by it because I think it's so cute. And I love to incorporate, like, or I love to understand, like, what the cover arts mean, why people title books the way they do. In this case, The Midnight Lie is a lie. It's kind of like a white lie that's told. So yeah, that plays into this whole novel. But the entire thing has a very, like, Aladdin kind of feel to it. And it is a fantasy novel, and it is an LGBTQ novel. So basically what I've been reading has kind of summated into this singular book. Although I really enjoyed the entire premise of it, the actual book itself, I did give a 3 stars because it makes me so sad. The world building itself, like, this book isn't very big, but the entire world building kind of happened in the last 100 pages or so, and it makes me very upset because it feels so rushed. I didn't enjoy it. Like, it really docked off points for me because I just wanted to, like, enjoy seeing this world that she's creating, and literally all I could think of was, like, Agrabah. One of the major points that I really did love, though, was the characters in this novel. They're all very unique, and they all have very distinct personalities, but like the world building at the very end, the characters kind of just, like, dropped off the face of the earth at the end, and it kind of makes me mad because everything just felt very rushed. So sadly, I did give it kind of a low score on that.
Okay, the next book that I read, which was from my TBR game, was Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. We know where my priorities are. I almost probably threatened Rayanne that if she did not pick that one for me, I would fight her. Just kidding, I didn't. But I really did hope that she would pick that one for me, and she did. So I rated that one 5 stars. I can't really tell you much about that book because all of Cassandra Clare's books are interweaved together, but if you have not read anything from the Shadowhunter Chronicles, so basically the Mortal Instruments, the Infernal Devices, the Dark Artifices, any of those series, basically it follows this race of demon hunters or Nephilim, and it has a bunch of different storylines and a bunch of different families, and it's really great, and I loved them, and I've talked about them a lot. But specifically, this one was really interesting because Chain of Gold actually was not my favorite. So this is the second in the Last Hour series, and after reading Chain of Gold, I wasn't that excited about it. Like, I definitely enjoyed Chain of Gold, but compared to all the other Shadowhunter Chronicles books that I loved, I felt like it was kind of down there for me. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one with that opinion, and I've only read it once, so it could have been just, like, when I read it. I don't know, I'm probably going to reread, like, the whole series around the time that the next book is going to come out. But yeah, that book, Okay, Chain of Gold was probably like down there, and then that book was just like maybe top tier for me. I don't know what it was, but I thought it was so interesting, so fun. Love the romances, love the controversy and the moral gray everything going on. I don't really know what else to say about that other than like I f***ing loved it. And then another book that I read that was not from my TBR was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. So I actually read like You Are a Badass at Making Money or something at the beginning of the year, and I felt really motivated to actually like start the year off right, do things well, make things different. And I felt like after that month or a month or two had passed, I was starting to feel a little bit down on myself again. So I figured I would pick up the OG one, which is the other one that she wrote. And I enjoyed it. I find it really hard to rate like self-help books because like, did it help me? Yes. I don't know. I find it really hard to rate them. I ended up giving it, I think, 3.5 stars because I did kind of prefer the You Are a Badass at Making Money because that one was very goal-oriented and had a lot of very clear instructions for like, hey, this is exactly how you can kind of get your life together. Whereas this one was more on like a spiritual note, which I guess, yeah, that does help, but it was very... I say if you read one, you don't really need to read the other because they go hand in hand. So I had already read that one, but I have decided to try to read a self-help... But I've decided to try to start reading a self-help book once a month, or not even just self-help, but like inspirational nonfiction as well. I think next month I'm going to be reading Untamed by Glennon Doyle. But just because I feel like I need to have that inspiration around me to keep me moving forward, I feel like I get really sucked into fantasy books and in other worlds, and those ones kind of help ground me into real life. So, yeah, 3.5 stars. But on that note, if you have any self-help or inspirational recommendations that will keep me in the right headspace, please leave a comment down below because I am already running out of ones that I have on my TBR. I don't know a lot of people who read self-help, so please help me out down there.
So after this, the next book that I read following into my Aladdin theme is A Whole New World by Liz Braswell. So this actually is a retelling of Aladdin, which is really funny because I feel like I was probably listening to this at the same time that I was reading The Midnight Light. So that probably played a key factor into imagining this world. But A Whole New World is a retelling of Aladdin if Aladdin never took the lamp out of the, like if he never got a hold of the genie right off the bat. And so it's telling the story as if Jafar had the lamp and kind of like goes about what would happen. And the story is actually, it's pretty dark. There are moments where I genuinely was like, that, what? Like that didn't happen. And then again, there were parts that it kind of seemed a little lazy writing of just copy pasting what happens in Aladdin. So I also gave that one about 3 stars because I felt like it could have, the entire world could have been explored a little bit more of, okay, so if Jafar takes the lamp, what does he end up doing? If you really like Aladdin, I would highly recommend it then, but for me, Aladdin's not one of my favorite go-to movies, so it was kind of subpar. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot because I know Taylor is crying over this one. I sadly didn't get to Throne of Glass, but again, I am going to try to read that this month with all of the other books that I have for my TBR. Cheers!
So another book that I was not able to get to this month was A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So, cheers. You can hear my dogs barking, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't say I didn't get to it because I am actually, as of right now, about 10 chapters in, and I am super enjoying it. I'm having so much fun. I just wasn't able to get to it by the month's end. Yeah, I had to prioritize some other books, and obviously, like, I read some that were not priority. But I am not gonna beat myself up because I did read 9 books, god damn it. But yeah, so far I'm super enjoying it. I'm really excited. It'll be in my next month wrap up, so you can stay tuned for that because I will have finished it by then. Fingers crossed. And then the other one that I did get to was Bossy Pants by Tina Fey. So that one I ended up reading simply because it was my last few days at work and it was available on Libby on audiobook and I needed an audiobook for the car ride. So that's basically the reason I picked it up. I straight up just went on Libby and clicked like what's available that morning. I had like 10 minutes to choose before we left. So yeah, that one ended up being a really fun read. I also rated that one about a 3.5 stars. Tina Fey narrates it herself and it's hilarious. If you love Tina Fey, I love Tina Fey. But yeah, it was really funny. It was kind of exciting to see kind of like the background of her life as well as the background of SNL, which is a show that I personally really love. But yeah, so 3.5 stars. Pretty fun.
One of the other books that I was able to finish was The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I don't know if you can actually see. It's right there. And I'm not gonna really go into my review on that because I did an entire vlog devoted to it. So make sure to click it. It's gonna be a little banner going across the way right there. But overall, I did actually really enjoy it. And that was the book that I chose for my vlog. Yep, I already said that. Goddamn. I guess that's it. That's all.
So another book from my TBR that I was able to get to was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I am so glad that I got to this one, not only because I don't have to take a shot for it, but because this one was really intense and really excellent. Like, okay, I am not gonna lie, there are some trigger warnings in this, which I will talk about in a second, but I ended up rating it 5 stars, and considering I was on the brink of DNFing it for a whole day, I feel like that is a pretty good turnaround. The reason I almost DNF'd it, well, first I'll give you like a background, but it follows a girl named Alex Stern who is attending Yale University, and basically she's just trying to start her life over. She wasn't having the best go of it, so she gets into Yale, she's going to Yale, and she gets involved in these secret societies, and you pick up from there. I don't want to go any further because this is so easy to ruin, and it's a magical book. I had so much fun reading it, but there are trigger warnings for paranormal activity, for ghosts, for rape. I feel like that's the big one that almost got me. It's the reason why I almost DNF'd it. So if you have any of those triggers, or if there are any other triggers you would like to ask me about, please let me know down in the comments, or you can message us on Instagram at tipsy_book_talks. I would love to let you know those triggers because I was honestly this close to DNFing it because of that. I'm glad I didn't. I had a really great time reading it, and I haven't seen anything about a second book, and I'm really hoping there is a second book because it leaves it on a question mark.
And finally, the last 2 books, the one that I did finish, The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Honestly, this is a book that I didn't actually think that I was gonna really like because I really do like poetry, but I had absolutely no idea what this was about. So it was a good time to try to figure it out. But this book actually resonated a lot with me. I feel like if I was younger reading it, it would have been a book that I would have said is my absolute favorite, but because I am a little bit older, it's stuff that I have already gone through. But it follows Chiamara? Zia Mara? But it follows her and her trials through going through confirmation and liking a boy and having kind of her super Catholic mom find like all of her shit and just out her for it. I have definitely dealt with some things that I can also say, like, yeah, growing up in a very Catholic family, like, I don't know, liking boys, liking girls, liking all of those things, it was a trial. So honestly, listening and reading this book has been both amazing times for me because it's something that I actually can resonate with a lot. There were 2 poems that I actually saved right off the bat, and you know, when Taylor got this for me, she told me that it was like an LGBT, so I was like really excited. And sadly, it's not with the main character, but it is with her twin brother. And she writes a whole poem on it, just entitled Gay. And I really loved it. It gave us a little insight onto how her brother is. And then there was also This Body on Fire that I really liked. And I mean, I'm not going to go into it. I'm just saying that, like, if you want to look them up, those are my two favorites. But yeah, this book was amazing, and I would definitely highly recommend it. If I were to give it a rating, I would give it probably about a 4. The only reason I probably wouldn't give it a 5 is because I feel like I'm so old now compared to, like, the time and place that this happens for the main character. So I'm like, that time has passed. But yeah. And the one that I didn't get to, One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that shot because I fucking hate vodka and I'm really over this shit. So yeah, me.
So the last book that I got to was actually Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one was such a surprise for me. Honestly, like, I did not expect it. I ended up getting this one on Libby as well, and it was just one of those ones that was available, and I needed another audiobook for my job, just to listen to kind of mindlessly, and I am so glad that I did. Another reason why I got it was also because we are reading Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo next month, so I just decided to pick this one up, and I'm so freaking glad that I did. I gave it 5 stars. I don't even know how to talk about this book right now because I really did not expect to like it. I had tried to read it before, probably like when it was at the peak of everyone talking about it. I was like, cool, I'm gonna try to get it. So I listened to the sample on Audible and I just did not care for the way that it was set up. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna read this right now. So then this one was available on Libby and I just was able to check it out at that moment. So I just did. And after giving it about 10 minutes, I was hooked. But basically, this story is written in an interview format with the band of Daisy Jones and the Six years after they break up. So the interview is pretty much about their rise to fame, their coming together, and then their abrupt split. I don't really want to give any more away, so that's kind of the basis of it. And it was so much fun, and it was so cool, and I think that there's like one tiny little tie to the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, we are going to be reading that one fully next month. I've already started it. But yeah, it was so good. And then this shot goes out to the last book that I was not able to get to, which was The Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. So the only reason that I actually did not get to this one was because I put up a poll on Instagram about what I should do for my April reading vlog, and you guys chose this one. So I'm currently reading it right now. I am also about, like, I think 3 chapters in. So kind of the same lines of A Discovery of Witches. I just wasn't able to finish it within the month because I was reading a lot of physical books. And I wanted to read these 2 specifically physically. I did not really care for the audiobooks when I listened to the samples. So these 2 specifically I wanted to read physically, and I just did not have the time. I didn't. There's too many books, too little time. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
These shots, I'm f***ing over it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you have not already. We are officially 1 year old. Our booktube anniversary was on April 1st. So if you guys watched that video, thank you so much. If not, we will put it down below. But it has been such a great year with you all, and we are just so happy with the community that we have built so far and are continuing to build. So yeah, we love you guys.
Make sure to check out our Instagram and our TikTok. Our Instagram handle is @tipsy_book_TALKS. And our TikTok is @tipsy_book_TOKS. Talks. Both talks. We talk a lot, so, you know, there's that. Taylor and I are just looking for more book friends. We just want people to talk to about the things that we read and the things that we like. So if you would like to be one of those book friends, please feel free to comment down below. Please feel free to find us on Instagram and just DM us and tell us, hey, like, Ran, hi Taylor, hi both. Love this video, love this other video. Would love to be book friends. Just message us. We love to make new friends. But anyways, thank you so much, everybody. I don't have any more alcohol, and I am not about to take any more shots because I don't need to be this drunk this early in the morning. But cheers, everybody.